England and Germany, on the brink of a war that would engulf the entire world. Rumors of walking corpses in England, and a deserter from the Grim Reaper dispatch behind it all. And a demon, with a contracted, was a family history of seeing Grim Reapers. It's all fascinating stuff. And then, there's you. I notice that you don't have a seal on your hand. That means that you do not have a contract with a human at the time. And that means that you are not bound by a master's orders to refrain from picking on lost souls as we Reapers try to collect them. And that means, by all accounts, I should be disposing of you. After all, you may be a very powerful being compared to a human, but I am no longer a human. And I must say, I am having so much more fun than when I was alive. Being a Grim Reaper is fascinating. I learned so much about the whole world. And that is why, even though a demon like you is no match for a Grim Reaper's death side, I can't quite bring myself to kill you just yet. Oh yeah, this isn't the first time I've done something so reckless. However, this would be the only time I have put the souls I'm supposed to be collecting at risk, so I'm certain to get in a lot of trouble after this is all over. At least, assuming anyone finds out about this. And since I don't intend to let you live after you've answered my questions, I don't think that would be a problem. Do you? I wouldn't recommend that. It's true I'm playing nice for now. I am so curious about you. But I do still have this. And I am not above using it. And disregarding my questions, should you get a little bit too comfortable with the idea that I'm not going to kill you right away. So, let's get started, yeah? First and foremost, what is the names that you go by? Based on my understanding of things, a human master is the one who chooses their servant's name. A demon offers them a choice about what they are called. However, in literature there are many demons who do have their own names. So I'm curious, what is the name that you go by when you are not serving a human? Oh, yeah, I know. All the stories tend to say the same thing. A demon can give up power over themselves by giving away their name. If a human, for instance, were to possess a demon's real name, that would allow the human to banish them back to the darkness. That is why so many exorcisms tend to be, well, unsuccessful. Demons don't just give out that information. But you can be assured that I have no intention of testing that. So, you might as well give me your name, so I know what to call you. Oh, that is very interesting. I never knew that. I think that the Celtic have a similar myth involving the fairy folk, that if given their full names, a human being could control one of these fairies. That is very interesting. So, besides being able to banish you back to the darkness whence you came, I could give you orders without needing a contract with you. That is most fascinating. However, I have no intention of doing that. Unless, of course, you get a bit stubborn and refuse to answer my questions, then I might have to be a bit more forceful. At 9! Yeah, I get it. You can't trust me and all that. But really, you're going to die either way. Why not have a little bit of fun? Let someone know your real name before you lose all chance to hear it again. I don't think I've ever heard of a demon with that name. So then, that means that you're not one of the known prince demons of hell. It is difficult to imagine princes of hell. If I recall, much like angels, demons are not bound to simply being male or female. Some do feel more comfortable as one or the other, but it isn't the way it is for humans, where our bodies tend to determine how people perceive us, and how we're supposed to act in society. However, I'm certain you can see that I'm not quite like that. Yeah, no one really knows what I am, and I love seeing people try to guess. My voice and my height makes them think that I'm a girl, and my hair and the fact that I was in the military makes them think that I'm a boy. You want to know? I can consider telling you. But only if you continue to answer my questions. Think you can do that? Oh, come on. Don't you demons love a good deal? Yeah, I don't have any souls to offer you in exchange, but it does prolong your life a little bit. Don't you think that's worth it? Wunderbar! Now then, if that is your name, how long has it been since you had a contracted? Ah, that long. And do you feed off of the souls of those who have recently died in the meantime? Not only those who have died. What do you mean? Oh, so that is a true story. You can take up residence in a home or in any building, and you can drive its residents to the brink of insanity. Yeah, I've heard of that. It is the process of psychologically breaking down a target so that then you can possess their body, yeah? Ah. So then, once you possess their body, if something were to happen to them, their soul would be immediately damned to hell, and you would be able to consume it without any Grim Reapers getting involved. How many demons know about this? Well, considering it hasn't happened in so very long, I assume that this isn't common knowledge where you come from. It sounds like something that only a few know of. Oh, yeah? Why don't you tell me then? So then, you are the only one, to your knowledge, who knows of this? That is very good. And I imagine that you are not eager for others to know, because then, if they find out they don't have to do so much work to get a soul, they might start taking all of your easier meals. And then it becomes an issue of making certain that the human population doesn't run out and completely starve you. Yeah. The human race is quite fragile. However, I do enjoy watching as they come up with new innovations to stay alive even longer. I do wish that we could have had some of that when I was alive. Not even for the sake of keeping myself alive longer, but so I could witness it firsthand, see how it affects the human body and feel for myself what it does. Of course, I can still study it and observe, but to feel it would be entirely different. Yeah. The humans are still so fragile. Even in spite of all their innovations, they remain susceptible to disease, injury, and sometimes even worse fates that come after they've died. You haven't heard about that? There was a Grim Reaper in England who deserted from the headquarters of the Grim Reaper Dispatch. Oh, yeah. The first attempt was about 7 decades ago, and he destroyed half of headquarters from what I heard. But then they managed to catch him, and he was forced to stay until 20 more years passed, and then he escaped for good. Now the English branch is trying to find him because, while they were content to let him go when he was so powerful, now he is creating problems that no Reaper can deal with. He is creating walking corpses that are nearly indistinguishable from humans. Yet none of them have a soul. So that means that if they continue to be created, and if we continue to let them wander about, then everything we know as Grim Reapers would fall apart. It would negate the purpose of a soul, and there would be no way to distinguish one who is living and one who is dead, except for whether or not they have a soul. And even then, what would be the point? If they have no soul, yet they live, how are we supposed to decide if they are truly meant to be dead? And so, we have been told to keep an eye out for this silver fox, so to speak. No. I don't worry that you'll try to help him or try to do anything with this information, because, after all, you aren't going to be going anywhere except back into the darkness from now on. And Do forgive me if it takes a while for your existence to flash before your eyes. I've never seen the cinematic record of a demon, and I'm so very curious to see what it is that vermin like you has seen.